Hello and welcome to the table. I'm your host, Teen Wolf, and today we are going to be talking about part 2 of the Phyrexian recap. And if you don't know, what happened in the first part, well, go watch it. I will try to link the video in the description below. And before you watch this episode, go and watch that one. Because what's going to be going on isn't going to make much sense unless you, watch that. So, without further ado, let us get into the second part of the Phyrexian recap. So, last time, Karn, just summarizing the last little bit of it, Karn became a planeswalker after, well, Urza, Gerard, and him destroyed Yawgmoth and original Phyrexia. So, Karn now is kind of freed almost because he was connected to Phyrexia since he was created basically by the Power Stone that Urza put into Karn. And, well, Karn still feels connected to Phyrexia, and he hates that. He hates that in himself. And, Karn, he kind of goes off just doing his own thing for many, many years, and he eventually finds his own plane, and, he names it Argentum, that Karn artificially created. He created it to, I'm not exactly sure why he made it, but to make himself feel better in some way and just kind of feel more just connect. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure why he made it, but what happens is he's on his plane of Argentum, and then a couple of his planeswalker friends that he meets across his many journeys across the plains as a planeswalker say that there's some bad stuff going on in Dominaria through experiments that Urza did when he was still alive, basically tampering with time travel. And that, I didn't want to cover that in the last video. I was just going to briefly cover it in this video. One of the ways that Karn was going to try to destroy Phyrexia was go back in time and kill Yawgmoth before he created it, but it didn't work, and a couple little time loops were scattered across Dominaria, and now Karn has to help close those time rifts before it destroys the multiverse. So, yeah, pretty big deal. So Karn does that, but he has to leave his plane guarded. And what he does is he creates this kind of warden for Argentum, and he names that warden Memnarch. So Memnarch is just, he's going to be the guardian for Argentum while Karn's off doing his planeswalker stuff, saving the multiverse, you know, just your average regular day stuff that you do as a planeswalker. No big deal, just saving the multiverse. But anyways, so Karn goes and does that. But Memnarch, something's off with Memnarch. He's poisoned almost by some kind of oil. Well, jumping back to the Heartstone in Karn. Yeah, that Heartstone kind of is corrupting Karn almost. And spreading glistening oil, which, if you don't remember in the last episode, was the thing that Yawgmoth used to make Phyresis and basically make Phyrexians. Glistening oil makes Phyrexians, and Yawgmoth would use the glistening oil in the process known as Phyresis to make Phyrexia. So, yeah, Karn spread this stuff across the multiverse, and yeah, that's not good. And we'll actually talk about one of the planes that tainted here on the channel like, later on. And, yeah, I'll just talk about that story a different day. But anyways, so what Karn does is he basically corrupted his own plane. He corrupted Argentum and Memnarch. So Memnarch, he renames the plane of Argentum to Mirrodin, and he kidnaps many beings from different realms, and he can't planeswalk, so he uses this technology called, like, I think it's like spirit traps or soul traps or something, and basically he spreads those out across the multiverse, and many different creatures across the multiverse go in them, get trapped, and then they are now in Mirrodin, and they are basically like prisoners of Mirrodin. And when Karn eventually gets back to his plane of Argentum, it's different. It's changed. Now it is Mirrodin, and soon will be new Phyrexia. And Karn is very mad at Memnarch, and Karn teaming up with an elf who was kidnapped from her plane and brought to Mirrodin, worked together to kill Memnarch. And so what happens is Karn is trying to basically, like, take all the people and creatures that were kidnapped and brought to Mirrodin back to their home planes. But before that can happen, yeah, let's just say bad stuff happens to Karn. So what happened is Karn would have to sacrifice his spark in order to save the multiverse from those time rifts I was talking about earlier. And one of his planeswalker friends brought him back to Mirrodin. Well, Argentum, but now is Mirrodin. And now that oil that was corrupting him couldn't corrupt him before because he was a planeswalker. Or not completely corrupt him because he was a planeswalker. Now that he's not a planeswalker, he can completely be corrupted, and now he is basically the new father of machines. He is the new Yawgmoth. Yeah, that's bad. So what happens is, Karn, I'm not exactly sure, like, what the story behind this is. Like, how the, new 5 Phyrexian Praetors were created. I'm not sure if Karn created them, or Memnarch created them, or what. But, what happens is, these, Praetors, these new 5 Praetors, which are, one of every color in Magic, are basically making sure that Karn continues to be the father of machines and doesn't go rogue and try to get his Planeswalker spark back and leave Phyrexia. So, and this can be shown, highlighted, in the card Praetor's Council, which says, as the Phyrexian contagion corroded Karn's body, as I was kind of talking about, and is shown in the art, the Praetors whispered plasms, psalms, I'm just gonna say psalms, to corrupt his mind. So basically, he's corrupted, his body's corrupted, his mind's not completely corrupted, and in the art you can see Vorinclex, at least, telling him that this is what must be done. This is, you must be the father of machines. And that's pretty horrible. So for many years, Karn is just basically the father of machines. He is forced to be on Mirrodin, or New Phyrexia now, and just be the father of machines. But eventually he gets out. Now, what happens there? Well, a couple planeswalkers come to rescue Karn. And one of those, well, the most notable of those, is Venzer. So, Venzer, he is going to have to sacrifice his spark to save Yawgmoth, which is really sad when you think about it. Because Venzer and Karn were good friends, and they met each other, like, on adventures and whatnot, and, like, time rift stuff, and yeah, so Karn basically had to watch a close friend of his die in order to, basically get his spark back, and no longer be corrupted by the glistening oil. And now, Karn is back as Karn Liberated, and, other than being a very, very good planeswalker in MTG history, he can now leave New Phyrexia, and he does leave. And now, the 5 Phyrexian Praetors and all of the Phyrexians on Phyrexia are just there, doing their own thing, unable to leave. Or so people think. Now, I will be talking about the stories of what's going on with these 5 Praetors in the next couple episodes for this channel. And, for this series. And just, like, kind of what's going on. So, the first that I will be covering, and I've already talked about him a little bit already, Vorinclex, Voice of Hunger. We will be talking about what is going on with Vorinclex when we find him on Kaldheim, and what he's doing there. Then we will travel to Kamigawa, where Jingataxius is doing experiments for something. Then we will go to New Capenna, where we see Urabrask trying to get Halo, which is this substance used to combat against Phyrexians. Wait, is Urabrask the Hidden? Is he a good Phyrexian? Who knows? And then we will see Then we will see Shieldred on Dominaria in Dominaria United, and we'll talk about that in the actual Dominaria United lore video. And, we're not going to be talking about Elesh Norn quite yet, because, we haven't really seen a reprinting of her. We don't really know exactly what's going on with her right now. All we do know, however, is, she is basically the new queen. She is the queen of Phyrexia. She is the one kind of controlling all of the Phyrexians. And we can kind of see what Elesh Norn. I'm just gonna briefly talk about her for a second, since we won't be talking about her all that much in the next couple episodes for the series. I'm just gonna say, or restate a quote that she has said. So, the Gitaxians, Jingataxians is, Phyrexians, the Gitaxians whisper among themselves of other worlds. So, yeah, they're eventually gonna planeswalk. Or, oh shoot, what did I say? Pretend I didn't say anything. Whisper among themselves of other worlds. If they exist, we must bring Phyrexia's magnificence to them. So basically, Jingataxius is kind of like, he is the curious Praetor. He is the one, like, who wants to do experiments and whatnot, and see, like, what's going on in the universe. Vorinclex is just the brute. He's the brute, and just, like, the kind of, he's not mindless. He has a conscience, and he's smart to a point. But, he follows orders. Those orders currently coming from Elesh Norn. Shieldred, kind of the same. She will be taking orders from Elesh Norn because, she kind of has to. And, Urabrask, as we will talk about more in a future video, he's different from all the other Phyrexians. But we'll talk more about how in another video. So, in the next video, we will be talking about what Vorinclex was doing on Kaldheim, and what that is going to mean for the future of Dominaria. So, until then, thank you for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed this second part and last part for the Phyrexian recap, at least on, like, Dominaria and, like, how new Phyrexia was created. Now we will be talking about what the Praetors are doing and how it will eventually lead to Dominaria United. So, until those next couple videos come out, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please consider subscribing, and I will see you next time.